11th, Tuesday, July 11th, 2017. I'm getting the heck out of this one station. All the trains are running on the express track, and I switched over there, and it was crowded and stifling and unsure which train I should get on. So I'm gonna make like the Fonzie. Hey, so I'm getting the hell out of here and finding my way to the A. That will have burned, I think it's $2.75, but better that than bad air circulation in a very busy subway center express island where people are jammed together. It was the first time I got that feeling that I know people get in closed spaces, and I was getting out of there. So I'm at Penn Station, so it shouldn't be too hard to go over to 8th Street and pick up the A. So this will be an interesting scene. I know some of my YouTubers tune in to me because of my walks through New York City. And I'll tell you, everything's coming together between the nice weather turning to not nice weather, to rush hour, to summer, to whatever Murphy's Law stuff you want to toss in there. It's crazy, and I look forward to getting home, and if that means burning $2.75 to not be in an uncomfortable subway situation, that is very much worth it, because whatever's going on there, it's likely to be causing delays on the trains themselves, which are themselves crowded. So you can imagine these trains stopping in between subway stations with everyone wondering what's going on each time. I'm hoping the A is a easier ride, and usually that's the way it works. Whenever one thing goes wrong in a subway line, you have at least one other way when you live in Inwood, because it is at the end of the line of the A, very nice in the mornings for getting your own seat, and it is also on the line of the 1 for people going over the bridge to the Bronx, over Spite and Duyvil, past Morningside Heights, which is actually part of a Manhattan address, even though it's on the body of land called the Bronx. So, politics. Anyway, there's actually even a third way. If I were back that ways a bit, I could walk north on Park Avenue or Madison all the way up to Grand Central Station and take the Metro North home, which lets me out on Marble Hill. Oh, did I use I said Morningside Heights. Yeah, that's Marble Hill up there. I always get those two M things confused because they're on either side of Spite and Duyvil, more or less, and up on sort of like a cliff. They're both actually quite high up there and have beautiful views. So easy to take alternative routes back and forth to Midtown, although I am on the Lower East Side for where I work, so that's always a special pain for getting back and forth to Inwood, because you can always do connections at like 59th Street and zig and zag, but by the time you wait for a connection and have an interrupted subway ride just to shorten your walk from 20 minutes to like 5 minutes, it was worth just staying on the train and getting off at Penn Station if it's the A in the morning, and walking like a bunch of long blocks across town. No real easy way to do that aside from just hooving it, if you don't want to have to do some sort of almost silly needless transfer. So I walk a lot and I talk a lot, and that's where a lot of these YouTube videos are currently coming from. Not long ago it was coming from my dog walks, but I had made a number of job maneuvers in order to right size where I felt I should be not only for professional achievement and advancement, but also for comfort level and really being somewhere where you can feel good about helping them achieve their mission. Because if you don't wake up in the morning and go, I want to help the people I work for do better today, then you're probably going to be miserable. So that's where a lot of the job satisfaction or the professional satisfaction of working for yourself comes from as a consultant and such, setting your own hours. And the person who first bought my Hittail application from, I guess, Connors Communications was one such person, a micropreneur. I think his name is Rob Walling. And he had since sold Hittail to another guy who, I guess is in it for accumulating small websites that have reliable revenue and scaling through acquisition. It's a interesting strategy. So a lot of people like to do it for themselves, and apparently I'm not one of them. I like to punch a clock, and I'm inspired by the fact that such individuals, I'm in the company of such esteemed folks as Linus Torvalds, who still, I believe, punches a clock, and Guido van Rossum, the creator of the Python programming language, who I forget where his latest stop is. Last I heard he was at Dropbox. He might have moved on since then, but it's always something Python related. Python is woven through the tapestry of tech now in a very similar fashion as was Perl in its day as the installation scripts for so many things in Linux, that it's kind of like me in the pool of tech. Python is on the verge of fundamental. When you get a stripped down Linux system, it's still possible for there to be an instance of Python on it, or especially optional if you can add a few things to a minimal Linux system so that it can respectably interact with the world, then you could do a lot worse than Python or even MicroPython. So anyway, I should wind up here. I guess the thought I want to get out as I hop onto the train is that SEO is cool and I'm enjoying it, and I'm at the right place for doing it. I saw Bill Nye the Science Guy today walking down the hallways. Okay, truthfully, I knew he was going to be there. So walking down the hallway, crowd gathering, signs up saying, move along, we want to not have the extra noise during recording, which was fair enough. So a few people hung out, I snapped my pictures, listened from my desk, and then came back later to see if there was going to be a group photo like we got with oh my god, how could I can't, this video is no longer usable, but I'm talking about the head of the planetarium here in New York City, the heir apparent to Carl Sagan, Neil deGrasse Tyson, of course. So we had a group photo with Neil deGrasse Tyson. It didn't work out that way with Bill Nye, but I think Bill Nye is on a different level of celebrity, and I think was treated as such, which is very respectful. But I got to see Bill Nye the Science Guy up close and in person, listen to his few remarks once the full broadcast was over, and it was really cool. And so doing SEO for an organization like that, thumbs up. And you layer on top of that, my last true passion in tech was the Amiga computer, 25, whatever, 30 years ago. I loved the Amiga for a number of reasons that people who are there and lived it will certainly be able to relate to, and everyone else will be like, huh? And every bit of tech I use, like the iPhone that I'm recording this on, I recognize the miracle of. I'm listening to the collected works of Arthur C. Clarke on my Audibles right now. And the final thing is Python. I want to drive my passion and love for what I do into something more long-term and worthy than merely SEO, which, as cool of a profession it is, it's living on the fault line. It's figuring out and predicting the weather from oftentimes insufficient input. and learning how to get all the input you need and to put the data through processes to extract answers and conclusions. And that aligns very closely with the fields of data science and let's see, what are some of the other keywords there? Predictive analytics is a good one. Of course, machine learning and AI. So a lot of this is buzzwords, but a lot of this is really connected to what I am called upon to do as the next stage of my field, when Python and all the loveworthiness of that very expressive and brief language starts to combine with the data science world, having to digest, process, and spit out predictive conclusions saying, if you do the following, you will be in a better position 6 months from now than competitors who did not have processes like that at this time. And that's my field of SEO 2017 in New York City today. Thank goodness working in-house at a publisher where I can practice the kung fu, magic, whatever you want to call it, directly for the type of organization that needs it the most. It's core, it's part of their DNA, because publishing, advertising, revenue model. There's other revenue models than just CPC advertising in the mix, and it's really very fascinating, and I learn stuff every day, and I need to up my game to the next level because I'm doing a lot of data pulls, but I need to do better predictions and issue better orders to editors and various folks in the company as to what to do next and why, and rinse and repeat, iterate quickly, and that's SEO. Thanks for joining me. Hope to talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.